Welcome ladies and gentlemen, everyone in between or in outer space, FC here. On this fine rainy day, we'll be redesigning the girls of Doki Doki Literature Club, or DDLC for short. Just in case someone isn't familiar with DDLC, first, this is my first video. How did you even get here? Anyways, spoiler warnings for the entire video. DDLC is a visual novel developed by Team Ohayou and released in 2017. Later in 2021, an updated version titled Doki Doki Literature Club Plus was published. In this updated version, they explore the girls' backstories and more of their personalities via side stories. Now, before we start redesigning, I want to quickly mention that I love this game, and this is not me saying in any way that I am better than the game's artist. Just take this as like a design exercise. Now, with that out of the way, let's start with Sayori is the classic girl next door trope. She's clumsy, she's bubbly, and for a lot of people, their best girl. Sadly, she's not mine. In Act 1, she serves as the reason why the player joins the literature club. Later, she subverts the trope with a depression arc, though it is cut short due to Monika's meddling. Well, more of her meddling, but you get what I mean. Now let's talk design. First, her hair. Tell me, what color is this? It's supposed to be a pink, but to me at least it doesn't really look like that. It's more like a stylized light brown. Specifically the home screen art. It doesn't help that Monika's hair is a similar tone, making the comparison even clearer. Now, I'll admit, in-game, Sayori does have proper pink hair, but I have a problem with that too. Because specifically, we have two pink-haired girls. Even if the tones are different, personally, I don't love that. So I made her hair blonde. Specifically, strawberry blonde with yellow underneath. Why blonde, you might ask? Well, in my opinion, Sayori, just like Monika, has a realistic hair and eye color combination, just more stylized. In hindsight, it's an obvious hint that she's going to gain sentience. Also, I think the game's art style leans towards sleek hair. Either the artist likes to draw it that way or it was the game's art direction. But either way, I don't think it works for Sayori. So I made her hair fluffier. At one point I did consider giving her like loose curls. It means nothing and it didn't really fit, but I wanted to show it anyways. Next, the bow. Man, I have a love-hate relationship with this thing. I know it's iconic at this point, but I think it's a bit too saturated, especially in this CG. So I made it smaller and less vibrant. Next is her accessories. I added some band-aids, mostly to her neck and hands. Originally, I wanted to put some on her face too, but decided against it. Now, let's talk about her outfits. Now, fun fact, Sayori is the only girl with 3 alternate outfits, that being her school uniform, her casual outfit, and her pajamas. Her school uniform is fine. I don't love how skin-tight it's drawn. That aside, I like that she wears an open blazer, it shows a bit of her character. Her pajamas are also fine. We barely see them anyways, and I'm pretty sure it's only shown in her final scene. As for her casual outfit, okay, so I don't really like it. So here's what I did. I gave her a jacket with similar shorts, just longer and cuffed at the ends, plus stars on the elbows and a few buttons. Underneath she's wearing a dark pink t-shirt. If you couldn't guess already, this is meant to visually represent her personality. Bright and bubbly on the outside, but more somber on the inside. Also, last minute I added thigh highs to her. Mostly because a friend suggested it and apparently because they're really comfy. And that's Sayori done. What do you think? Next up is Yuri, a character with a very funny name based on the shy bookworm trope. Though later on she takes on some yandere traits. In Act 1, she plays the role of a love interest the player can pursue. Later in Act 2, she becomes much more proactive, forcing the player to stay with her during the weekend event. I'm just gonna say it right now, Yuri is my best girl. So naturally, I love her original design. With a few caveats, we'll get into that. Before I dive into her redesign, I want to point out a few patterns I noticed. 2 warm tone and 2 cool tone characters. 2 characters with long hair, 2 characters with short hair. 2 characters who tie their hair and 2 who don't. 2 with matching hair and eye colors and 2 with different ones. And the one that stood out to me most is 2 bows and 2 hair clips. Why hair clips? Ribbons would be a better connection to bows and Natsuki already has ribbons in her hair. Now let's talk redesign. I gave Yuri a longer middle lock and added twin braids. I think they look really pretty, and they're also a nod to shy anime characters. It's kinda hard to see the middle lock with the pose I chose, so here's the front view. For accessories, I recolored her hair clip to be a darker red, and added dark red ribbons to the end of her braids. I also made her hair much more saturated and added a bright blue tint underneath, just as like a personal stylistic choice, like Sayori's yellow undertone. I changed it because dark purple can sometimes be read as black and I wanted to distance it from that. Now, her eyes. Something I didn't mention in Sayori's section is I adjusted all the girls' eye shapes. For Yuri specifically, I gave her downturned eyes, to make her look absolutely miserable. The side effect is her eyes are now absolutely massive. Something I also didn't mention in Sayori's section is I tweaked all the girls' skin tone, making them slightly saturated while keeping them still light skin, just not paper white, with the exception of Yuri, just because I wanted her to look pale, almost ghostly even. You technically can make someone look ghostly pale while keeping everyone else also pale, but I like this execution better. Now for her outfits. She has two, her school uniform and her casual outfit. Not much to say on her school uniform, except somehow it's even more suction on than Sayori's. Her casual outfit? I don't hate it. Call me biased because I'm definitely am, but I have to admit, why beige of all colors? What is she, a millennial soccer mom? Also, I don't see Yuri as the type to just wear leggings with nothing on top. So for my version, she keeps the turtleneck just in a different color and a tighter style, with a purple cardigan. The cuffs of the cardigan has red embroidery, and I also gave her a long skirt. Last second, I added a portrait of Markov brooch because she totally seems like the type to buy merch. And that's Yuri done, what do you think? Two girls left, and it's Natsuki time. Natsuki is based on the tsundere trope. She herself as a character is very interesting, since most of her verbs are open from the start. In Act 1, she invites the player to read manga with her and even bakes during her weekend event. But in Act 2, unlike the other girls, Monika doesn't really mess with her directly. She messes with her father. I won't go into details because that is a very heavy topic, and honestly, I don't really want to discuss it, so we're moving on. Now, as much as I like Natsuki, I do have some thoughts on her design. Firstly, her hair. I think it's a bit too sleek, so I made it much more fluffier and gave it a slightly spiky texture, kind of like the inner fluff of a cat's ear. I also adjusted the ribbons, making them point upwards instead of downwards, giving her a sharper silhouette. Her eyes also got tweaked a tiny bit, changing them into a much more sharper shape. This makes her look a little more serious and intense, and it also makes a cuter expression when she gets flustered in my opinion. Now, onto her outfits. Like Yuri, she only has two, her school uniform and her casual outfit. Her school uniform? Mostly fine. It's mostly because unlike the other girls, she doesn't really have the proportions to make it look weirdly tight. But her casual outfit though, oh boy! Look, I think the original outfit is cute. My only issue with it is the frills. I like layered skirts, but I think the rendering makes it look off to me. It bothers me more than it probably should. So maybe I did something a bit drastic. For my redesign, I took inspiration from the Y2K fashion revival. Not actual Y2K, I don't think I need to see another whale tale in my life. If you don't know what that is, you are way too young to know! The reason why I chose this style is because I wanted her to look unapproachable because she has been othered by her peers, to physically show that part of her. At one point I did consider designing her as like a gyaru girl, but ended up not going for it. I gave her a lacy graphic tank top layered over a crop cap sleeve t-shirt. Oh my lord, that is hard to say. Her skirt is now updated miniskirt with a little yarn ball graphic. She also has a cat keychain and some body stickers. If you don't know, these are like tanning stickers. If you have a tan, they'll leave little shapes on your skin. I loved this as a kid, so I added them as decoration. And just for fun, I also designed a hypothetical Act 2 casual outfit, since her father would definitely not let her wear something that bold. So instead, she wears a simple denim overall dress with a pink t-shirt. And that's Natsuki done! Attention everyone, it is time for the final girl. It's Monika. Monika fits into what I personally call as the perfect girl trope. Usually appears flawless, seemingly good at everything, usually a princess or like a student council character. According to the player, she is smart, she is charismatic, and she is athletic, seemingly good at everything with a penchant for the piano. Fun fact, before founding the literature club, she was actually part of the debate club. Out of all the characters, she is by far the most interesting. But that comes at the cost of making her a bit of a mystery. The player character doesn't even really get to know her until the curtain drops, which is at the very end. Because of that, she doesn't really get a weekend event like the other girls. Which means she also doesn't get a casual outfit. The design I am basing mine on is based on 2 illustrations by the game's artist. But before that, let's talk about her hair. Honestly, there's not much I change. Like Natsuki, I mostly changed a few things, like shortening her hair a little and giving it a tiny curl at the ends for more bounce. And like the other girls, I added a red highlight underneath. Since we're talking about her hair, let's bring up Monika's name. I promise you this makes sense. She is the only character with a non-Japanese name, which did make me consider making her a foreign exchange student for a hot second. But yeah, sorry for showing you Monika. Oh my god, this is so cursed. As for her eyes, I gave her a similar shape to Sayori's, but just added a wing liner to it. Now let's talk outfit. Like I said earlier, my redesign is based on these 2 illustrations, which I'm just gonna say, Monika, girl, you are brave for wearing something so form-fitting and white in what looks like summer. I tweaked it into a fold-over dress with soft layers and a green accent. I wanted her to look graceful but still comfortable enough to move around, while keeping that elegant composed look. Technically, there is another art piece that shows Monika in a casual outfit. I was tempted to go with that, but at the end, I decided it was too close to Yuri's vibe. And with that, the video is done. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And since this is my first video, please be nice. And with that, I'll see you in another rainy day. Bye!